Okay, so here we go. I just wanted to quickly, before we got started into tomorrow's first workshop, take the time to do a little bit of a quick kind of like how-to and explanation using my the Icebreaker template that I've set up on Miro Board, which I have mentioned in the introduction email that everyone should be having a look at and signing up to Miro. But I think that before you receive the invitation to join the actual workshop, I wanted to just take some time to talk you through the Icebreaker. So normally the Icebreaker sort of exercise is a 45-minute exercise, but because we're like 20 people, I figure it's going to take maybe a little bit longer. So I think probably like an hour, but I don't want it to take too long. The idea is that it's short and sweet and fun. So I thought to help everybody get used to it for this evening's Icebreaker, I would do a little video to just explain like how to use it. So if I move over here and zoom out a little bit, you'll see that I've made everybody a little space. So this is the kind of thing you're going to see on the workshop board, the whiteboard once you arrive on it. It's just like a laid out template. So it's like a workspace basically. So for each like member of this workshop, there is a Icebreaker. So the idea here is that it's just a little introduction to some of the tools that you will need to get used to while we're doing a remote workshop. So at the top, obviously each step is numbered, and whenever there's a light bulb, there's some information that you should read to try and understand something. So there isn't one on the first step because it's very simple, and I'll explain it. The first step is quite simply to get used to writing on a text box. So the idea is to double click on the word insert and essentially just insert your name here. So for example, my name is obviously Heath. So I've typed my name in there quite simply. So that's something we have to get used to, is like double clicking on things to be able to write in them. So whether it's a text box or a post-it, double clicking on it allows you to write on it. So if we don't do that and we just start writing, then we end up with a separate layer. So like a text layer on top of the object. So that's the first step, done, well done. Step one, done. The next step is step two. And the idea here is to add a sticky note. So over on the left of the Miro board is the toolbar. And then the fourth symbol down with a square with a little folded corner is a sticky note. So if you simply click on it once, you'll have the options of what color you might want. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to select a simple yellow sticky note, which will be a square, and then we're going to click where we want to paste it on the board. So we're going to stick a sticky note there. I personally don't like the square ones. I prefer to change them up here on the menu above. When you click on it, when you click on an object like this, there's a menu appears up above it. It gives you the options for the actual object itself. So if I click somewhere on the board where it's empty, there's obviously no object, so there's no menu. But if I click on an object, I get this menu. And it's the same if I click on any other object unless it's locked. And so in for example, all these objects are grouped. So these are the grouping options and the locking options. So I'm just going to click on the post-it here, and then I'm going to click which type on the left. And here I've got a different bunch of options for the type of object, and I'm going to go rectangular post-it. So now I have this little rectangular post-it. And as we did simply before, I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to write, my name is Heath, and whoops. I'm from New Zealand, but I live in Paris. So just like a little thing about me. So that's just a simple little like anecdote about who I am. But the idea again is about like learning to use the sticky notes, right? The next thing we want to do is we want to add a link. So step 3 here is, if we zoom in on the light bulb, add a link to one of your interests. I've chosen Biarritz, and specifically for surfing. So now I'm going to click somewhere on the board where I want to post that link. So here, it's obviously the space where it's intended to be, and I'll simply post it. Now this can be a little fussy, so that's why I think it's quite good to just test it, but ultimately it should just work like that. It should be that simple. So now we've got a post-it and a link to something, one of our interests. And now we're going to drag and drop an image. So again, zoom in on the little light bulb, give us the instructions, drag and drop an image of an aspirational hobby. So, I'm not going to bother with that because well, you know what? An aspirational hobby. Well, something I like doing is making pancakes. So here is a picture from my desktop that I'm just going to drag and drop onto the board. The key with this is to download whatever the images you want to post, download it onto your desktop first, because otherwise you'll just be pasting a link. So what you want to do is download the image onto your desktop and then drag and drop it onto the board. It's the only way it kind of works, but it is simple once you get used to it, but it's a bit fussy if you don't do it. So aspirational hobby for me is making pancakes. And anecdotally, I do have a Instagram page called Let Them Eat Pancakes. So if you can see how obsessed I am about pancakes, you can always go there. Next thing, and the final thing, is to draw your favorite dessert. So this is again to get used to, let's say, the functionality of the drawing tool. So it's not particularly good at drawing pretty pictures, but for what we do in these workshops, it really doesn't matter. So if I click on the pen tool over here on the toolbar, I have an option between an eraser or a pen itself, and then a slider here, to control the thickness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this orange here, and I'm going to obviously, to stay in the theme, draw some syrup covered pancakes. Yay! So as you can see, it's not a fantastic drawing tool, but again, for the workshops, we don't really care. So there you go. So that's the 5 little steps that I want everyone to sort of play around with and get used to as they come on to this icebreaker exercise this evening, and also just something for you to practice and sort of play with before we actually dig into it, because it's always a bit weird doing it in front of other people. And then finally, what we'll do just for a bit of fun is that we'll vote on the best drawing. So this is another thing. It's called Note and Vote. The idea is we'll write down a bunch of different ideas or things during a workshop, and then everyone will get to vote. So obviously in this particular case, I'm going to just click on a dot, then I'm going to Command C, and then I'm going to click where I want to put it and Command V, because obviously I'm voting for my own drawing. And there we go. So now we've managed to, learn how to manipulate a text box, use a post-it, add a link to a video, drop in a reference image, and draw, and finally note and vote in a very short period of time. So Miro is very intuitive and it's very useful, but it's just one of the tools and one of the ways we might use it for this online course. So thanks again for checking out the video, and I look forward to doing this live this evening. Okay, bye.